The Dart Monkey has been the mascot of the Bloons franchise for close to 20 years. From his initial introduction to the world in 2007 with the first Bloons game to his most recent appearance in Bloons Card Storm, the Dart Monkey has come a very long way. That's why in today's video we are going to cover the complete history of the Dart Monkey and figure out how our favorite little guy has gone from the face of a series to just another tower. Before we jump into it, I do want to say that 99% of the information that I found for this video has come from the Bloons wiki, so thank you to the people over there keeping that up to date. Now on to the video. The story of everyone's favorite little monkey begins in March of 2007. Ninja Kiwi released this little puzzle game called Bloons. Just Bloons, and it looks very different than the most popular game in this series, Bloons Tower Defense 6. In Bloons, it's just you, the monkey, and those evil, disgusting bile Bloons. The game is incredibly simple. Pop all the balloons on screen with a limited number of shots. Each dart thrown could pop as many balloons as you could hit with it. Think Angry Birds, but with precision aiming and way more physics puzzles. No buying, no selling, no upgrades, no towers. But here's what made this game so special. And this is crucial to understanding the Dart Monkey's story. In that original Bloons game, our precious little Dart Monkey wasn't just the best character or the main character, he was the only character. Whether it's different versions of Bloons or any other obstacle, the Dart Monkey could and did handle it all on his own. And the same would be true for more Bloons and the first Bloons player pack, the next two games in the series. These were essentially the same as OG Bloons, but offered new levels. However, on August 16th of 2007, Bloons would change forever and the Dart Monkey with it. Just 8 months after Bloons, Ninja Kiwi released Bloons Tower Defense, fundamentally altering the Dart Monkey's role forever. Suddenly, players had a full roster of towers to choose from and multiple ways to solve each problem. He remained the foundation of every defense, but he was no longer the star. The Dart Monkey went from being the protagonist of his own story to becoming a supporting character in a larger strategy game. He shifted from being an extension of the player to being just one tool among many. But how did the gameplay change? BTD 1 brought with it the familiar gameplay we all know Bloons for. Now, the Dart Monkey was a tower that could be purchased and placed for 250 money. His dart could pop one layer of balloon, and he had 2 upgrades. Piercing darts for 210 that allowed him to pop 2 layers with the dart going through the first, and long-range darts, which simply increased his range. BTD 1 also introduced the Ice Tower, which would freeze balloons. These frozen balloons couldn't be popped by darts. This gave the Dart Monkey a sort of anti-synergy with the Ice Tower. After Bloons TD, Bloons Player Pack 2 came out. It was just more levels for the traditional Bloons experience, however, this year still had more Dart Monkey action in store for us. Near the end of 2007, the Dart Monkey would make another appearance. Bloons Tower Defense 2 came out on October 18th of 2007, and things were about to change forever again. BTD 2 brought with it a lot of new features, but let's get to the important stuff. How did these affect our little monkey pal? The Dart Monkey would basically stay the same with the same upgrades, but BTD 2 introduced difficulties and the cost would vary between them, hard obviously costing more. I don't want to turn this video into a spreadsheet review, so I'm not going to cover all of the cost. The cost of the upgrades was rebalanced though, to make long range cheaper across the board. The next big change BTD 2 brought was a new type of balloon that would put the Dart Monkey on the back burner even more. Bloons Tower Defense 2 introduced lead balloons, which can only be popped with explosives. The Bloons Tower Defense 2 Dart Monkey can't get explosive darts, so he had no way to deal with these. This, combined with the inability to pop frozen balloons from the Ice Tower, made the Dart Monkey a lot less important than in BTD 1. As more balloon games release, the Dart Monkey's usefulness is only dropping. Speaking of dropping, drop a sub and a like on this video. Let's see if we can't hit, 1,500 subscribers on this video. I'm overwhelmed with the amount of support we got on our very first ever video on this channel. Thank you so much. Let's see if we can't get this second video to do even better. After Bloons Tower Defense 2, the Dart Monkey got to return to the spotlight for a little bit. Bloons Player Pack 3, Even More Bloons, and Bloons Player Pack 4 all released in 2008. There isn't really much to talk about here. A new mechanic or two was introduced, but these were all essentially level packs. There were no upgrades or anything like that, and the Dart Monkey was still the star of the show. He stands there and he throws darts. The darts pop balloons. Ninja Kiwi knew it would be wrong to mess with perfection. Bloons TD 2 wasn't perfect though. And on September 2nd of 2008, Bloons TD 3 would be released. I think this is the real classic OG Bloons experience. If you're a little older and played a lot of Bloons as a kid, this is the one you probably remember most fondly. Now, BTD3 brought with it several changes, but very few actually impacted the Dart Monkey. Moabs and ceramics, called brown Bloons at the time, were added, but the Dart Monkey could pop both. The real changes that came to the Dart Monkey were in the form of upgrades. Now, we didn't have upgrade paths yet, but there was a little more depth to the system. Again, there are 3 difficulties, so I won't go over all the prices, but the 2 original upgrades were the same. You had piercing darts and long range. Piercing darts could then be further upgraded to razor darts, allowing the Dart Monkey to pop 3 Bloons, and long range could be upgraded to extra long range, increasing the tower's range further. In November of 2008, our little pal would go airborne in one of the most boring, lame games on this list. I had never heard of this game before making this video, and I have to say, it's pretty disappointing. The premise is simple. You join forces with a traitor Bloon to murder your mortal enemy, other Bloons. The Dart Monkey holds onto a big blimp, notably not a hot air balloon, so I don't know where the title came from, and you fly through the air, popping Bloons and avoiding the clouds and trees. It's like a bad version of Flappy Bird, but the Dart Monkey is in it, so here we are talking about it. After that, Bloons Player Pack 5 Christmas Edition was released, and I'm a certified Christmas hater, so that's all I'll say about it. Just know it was more of the same when it comes to the non-tower defense Bloons games, and it would be a pretty long time before the next mainline entry. Over a year, in fact. BTD4 came out on October 26, 2009. BTD4 is where the series really starts to come into its own. Levels, unlocking towers, and all sorts of new features. This is really the start of Bloons as we know it today. Well, what about the little old Dart Monkey? He changed quite a bit, but with the addition of even more new towers, he was more irrelevant than ever. He had been in every game so far and is truly unappealing in this game, simply due to the lack of novelty. He's the first tower you have, and you're unlocking new towers as you play, upgrades for those towers. It's really hard to love the Dart Monkey when there's so many new things to experiment with. So, how did the Dart Monkey change? In Bloons Tower Defense 4, all towers, and consequently the Dart Monkey, only had one upgrade path. Previous upgrade paths were condensed and additional upgrades were added. Piercing darts became his first upgrade, allowing him to pop 2 Bloons. Long range became the second upgrade, increasing the tower's range. The next upgrade is where the Dart Monkey truly evolved into something special though. See, in BTD3 there was a tower called the Spikapult. This tower was removed in BTD4, and the Spikapult upgrade allowed the Dart Monkey to essentially turn into this now removed tower. This upgrade switches the Dart Monkey's dart for a big Spikapult that shoots spiked balls. These can pop 18 balloons each, but the tower shoots slower by half a second. But this wouldn't be the last upgrade available to the Dart Monkey. His final upgrade in BTD4 was Triple Shot. This does exactly what it sounds like. It gave the Dart Monkey 3 spike balls per shot. It also increased the size, lifespan, and speed of the shot. This allowed the tower to pop 48 balloons per shot. I do want to note though that this didn't actually increase the number of projectiles, which is kind of funny. Cool. New epic style upgrade for the Dart Monkey, but what about his place in the series and the game as a whole? The Dart Monkey stayed a solid, cheap early game option. The Spikapult really allowed the tower to excel in straightaways, but the tower was only one amongst many. The options in BTD4 exploded, with 15 other towers all having unique upgrades, many of them transforming the tower in a similar way to the Dart Monkey's Spikapult upgrade. There were a lot of cool choices that aren't the Dart Monkey. So he wound up taking an even further back seat. And things were not about to get any better for our little guy when it came to mainline games. But more on that in a moment. After BTD4, it would be a while before another tower defense game, but there were plenty of spin-offs. Bloons Festive Fun was a Christmas-themed version of Bloons iOS that was only available for a limited time. It featured Christmas versions of the Bloons levels, basically a glorified reskin. Next was Bloons Blast. This was a Facebook game. It's no longer available, but you would throw a dart into a fast stream of Bloons to earn coins, which can be used at a shop. It's hard to find any videos on it, it's not a mainline game, and it's lost to time, so I think we'll just move on. The Dart Monkey is the star of both games, so it's a little bit of a comeback for our guy in between the mainline games. But speaking of mainline games, I've been calling the TD games the mainline games. But the puzzle game is really the OG, so I guess you could say our next game is the true sequel. Bloons 2 came out in September of 2010. It introduced several mechanics to the Bloons formula and had an overworld map-style level system. However, the Dart Monkey was pretty much the same. He was just a dude with some darts. There was one small change. You got these super monkey power-ups that were pretty much level skips. They turned the Dart Monkey into a Super Monkey who would shoot lasers, of course, instead of darts. The game had a few expansions over the years, but they really only seemed to add more levels. That same year, we had our first game not to feature the Dart Monkey. Crazy, I know. Bloons Super Monkey. Since our little guy isn't in it, I won't talk about it, but it felt right to mention it since this is the first time ever that the Dart Monkey wasn't in a Bloons game. Just goes to show how much the series had grown beyond the Dart Monkey. Back to games that include our hero, even if they disrespect the little guy a bit. In 2011, Bloons would go through another major overhaul. New mechanics, new Bloons, towers, upgrades, game modes, and features. BTD5 has multiple versions across platforms, with significant differences between them. This makes things a little more complicated on top of all of the new mechanics making things even more complicated. For simplicity's sake, we're just going to touch on everything in the current day mobile version. BTD5 brought loads of features, but the most important one to the Dart Monkey is the introduction of 2 upgrade paths. In previous entries, every tower only did one thing most of the time and had one upgrade. With the introduction of multiple upgrade paths, every tower was like 2 towers in one. You had so many more options, even if you were dealing with just one monkey. This gave a lot of towers a massive glow up and helped our Dart Monkey a whole lot. His catapult route gives him camo detection in the 2nd tier and eventually gives him the ability to become a Juggernaut. This upgrade single-handedly made Dart Monkey a tower you shouldn't overlook. The Juggernaut still had his catapult, so he was amazing on narrow hallways, but it also gave his spike a massive firepower boost. When I say massive, I mean massive. When you upgrade to Juggernaut, you're going from 18 Bloons popped per shot to 100 Bloons popped per shot. The Juggernaut also gives Dart Monkey lead and frozen popping capability, and with that, the Dart Monkey has pretty much every possible balloon type covered. With this upgrade, the Dart Monkey was now a super strong and dynamic tower that was a great early to mid-game choice. The good news continues with his 2nd path as well. He was able to get a total of 4 Pierce with his first 2 upgrades and eventually shoot 3 darts at a time. This was insane for early game crowd control. This thing was a super affordable option for anyone that wanted to tear through early rounds while still being able to save up more for endgame monkeys. The triple Dart Monkey was fondly looked upon by many, especially me. As a child, I didn't really know how to manage money, so I had triple darts out the wazoo to handle the balloons. But the good news in BTD5 ends there, because the last upgrade to this path, Super Monkey Fan Club, is pretty pathetic. Apparently, Dart Monkey still wasn't good enough because his final upgrade for his path just turns him into a Super Monkey, a better version of himself. Added on, the Super Monkey was essentially the 2nd poster boy of Bloons at this point. So making the Dart Monkey's last upgrade literally be a fan club dedicated to his competition made the Dart Monkey stocks plummet. But overall, BTD5 was a strong step forward for the Dart Monkey. He was able to have some utility the other monkeys couldn't provide to the same extent, and he even doubled down on his own affordability thanks to level 3 of the Dart Training Facility upgrade giving you a free Dart Monkey. Then came BTD Battles, a strong mix-up for the Tower Defense series that added PvP. Battles didn't really do much for the Dart Monkey other than change some numbers around to make his early game a little less strong. One thing to note though is because of the nature of Battles gameplay being a little more hard at the start, the triple Dart Monkey absolutely killed it depending on what you were going for. It was never the best choice, but if you struggled early game and wanted to focus your economy, throwing the Dart Monkey into your monkey team was a legit strategy. Then Bloons Monkey City released. It was a sort of Clash of Clans-like spin-off to the Bloons series, where instead of raiding other players' bases, you had to survive a few rounds of the normal tower defense to build your city more. Since it was a copy-paste of BTD5, other than the base building mechanics, it didn't do anything to change our Dart Monkey other than make his art style worse. Like seriously, what did they do to my boy? Anyway, now we arrive to the great year of 2018. And when I say it's a great year, I mean for the Dart Monkey. Bloons 6 was the highest level of innovation we've ever seen in this series, and not a single tower went untouched, especially the Dart Monkey. Almost every tower got a complete overhaul, and every single tower got a 3rd path. This was a game changer for the Dart Monkey for a lot of reasons. 3 to be exact. The very first path is the successor to the beloved Catapult path. The first 2 upgrades get your Pierce up to 4. Once you get to the 4th upgrade, you have your Juggernaut again. This thing tears through ceramics and Bloons. It was downgraded to only popping 61 Bloons per shot, but that doesn't really matter when you see the next upgrade, Ultra Juggernaut, that gives it 210 Pierce. Ultra Juggernaut is one of the cheapest tier 5s sitting at an affordable $12,750 on easy. So when you look at this route and you see you get a tower that can tear through any type of balloon, even camos if you cross path it for a super affordable price, you have to admit that we are so back. It doesn't just end there though, it gets even better for the Dart Monkey. The middle path is kinda sad. Triple Shot is still good, but the Super Monkey fan club has the same issues as BTD5, and Plasma Monkey fan club only makes it tolerable. But the real magic comes in the third path, the Crossbow Master Path. This is the upgrade path that lets you see camos, and it turns the Dart Monkey into a literal machine. It starts off by giving our boy a crossbow that deals 3 damage per hit with 1 pierce and decent range and fire rate. Then the fourth tier allows you to start dealing critical damage. It doubles to 6 damage and the fire rate doubles as well. Then we get to Crossbow Master. The fire rate doubles once again and makes the Dart Monkey an absolute machine gun. The pierce goes up to 9 and they double the rate of critical hits. Oh, did I mention that the range also looks like this? These paths completely brought the Dart Monkey back into the meta. He was part of a bunch of super strong strategies again because Ninja Kiwi finally took advantage of his strengths. If that wasn't enough, Ninja Kiwi swung back in on July 26th of 2021 to drop the biggest moment for the Dart Monkey yet. They released Paragons, the 6th tier for monkeys which combine all their tier 5s together, was coming to the game, and the Dart Monkey was the first one who was going to get it. The most important feature added in a long time to this formula was being test drove by our very own Dart Monkey. This was huge for him. The Dart Monkey Paragon was amazing. For a while, it was the best tower in the game, and to this day is still one of the best. After so long of Ninja Kiwi letting the Dart Monkey fall to the side, our boy finally got his justice, and he earned his rightful spot as one of the most important towers in the game. Then Ninja Kiwi went on a weird side quest in 2018 and dropped Bloons Adventure Time Tower Defense. I have no idea where this came from or why Adventure Time was the one piece of media that got a Bloons spinoff. I mean, Planet of the Apes, duh, what are we doing here? But the Dart Monkey was in this weird game. This game did weird things like make it so you can only place a limited number of towers based on the heroes you choose. The Dart Monkey could only be placed 3 times. For some reason, the only upgrades he has is Sharp Shot, Razor Sharp Shots, and Triple Darts, so Bloons Adventure Time was a step back for the Dart Monkey, but this isn't the most popular game, so it was a step back in more ways than just the Dart Monkey. But we ended up making a comeback in June of 2021 because we got the game Bloons Pop. This was the spiritual successor to the original Bloons series and locked in that the Dart Monkey will always be the GOAT, even having solo titles released in the modern day. Even though the Super Monkey got close, it was clear that the Dart Monkey was going to stay the king. Then later that year, Bloons Battles 2 dropped. This didn't end up being the classic that the original was, but it did bring a classic tower with it. The Dart Monkey was back, and it was the exact same as it was in BTD 6, so there literally isn't anything to say here about our Dart friend. It's probably best not to talk too much about the corpse of BTD Battles 2 anyway, because it was only released a few years ago, and BTD Battles 1, which is the first entry that came out 9 years before Battles 2, is still doing half its numbers on Steam charts. Maybe they should have innovated more. But I might actually have to take that back because in the next and last entry, Bloons Card Storm, they innovated a little too much. Bloons Card Storm is a card-based PvP game, think like Hearthstone but Bloons. In this entry, the Dart Monkey is completely free, making it an insanely strong early game choice that can provide a good offense when you're on a budget. It's hard to speak on how this game added to the Dart Monkey because it's a completely different approach. However, the Dart Monkey was absolutely viable in this game. But most of you guys probably don't want to hear this, considering the fact that while I'm writing this, BCS has a 24-hour player count peak of just 54 people. Just a quick reminder, Bloons TD Battles, a game that came out in 2012, has a 274 peak, while BCS, which was released last year, is doing 54. Despite having a little bit of rocky game placements recently, I think it's clear to see that the Dart Monkey has a bright future. For as long as Bloons goes on, Dart Monkey will be one of the true poster boys of the Bloons series, and forever be the GOAT. Despite our profile picture, we stand with the Dart Monkey, and that will never change because we know the history of the Dart Monkey, and now, so do you. That was the complete history of the Dart Monkey. If you liked this video, leave a like and consider subscribing for more great Bloons content just like this. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click the video on screen to watch the unwritten rules of BTD 6. Make sure to keep a watch on Bloons Watch.